Teach me your way, O Lord, and I will walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart that I may fear your name and will praise you, O my God, with all my heart. I will glorify your name forever. In 1 Kings 19, 11 through 13, the Lord said to his prophet Elijah, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart, shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. Elijah knew very well what I am still learning, and that is that God doesn't reveal himself only in powerful, miraculous ways, as he did to Isaiah and to others, but he also reveals himself to us through gentle whispers. As I prayed about sharing a God moment, I'll admit that I sought out some of the more dramatic, powerful ways in which I have felt God's presence, mercy, redemption, grace, and love in my life, for there have been many. I could hardly wait for God to reveal one of these stories to me to share. As many of you who know me well know that I do love a ta-da every now and then, like daily. However, the more I prayed, the more God seemed to whisper, leading me to share some examples of his quieter, indescribable yet undeniable activity in my life. For it was a casual comment by a neighbor 22 years ago that led me to St. Martin's Church, where I would ultimately meet my husband, David, grow as a Christian through Bible studies and amazing friendships, and become a part of a family that I could never imagine, including 2 bonus daughters, their husbands, and 6 grandchildren. A call from Anna that I know many of you can also relate to, followed by a say yes whisper, caused me to be in Kate's PAL group last year. A number of pandemic-riddled months later, when I somewhat casually mentioned an interest in a guest speaker suggestion, she immediately introduced me to Sharon Collins, who came to St. Martin's and blessed many lives, including my own, through her testimony and her art in April of this year. In Sharon's words, God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And that's why I'm standing before you today. I'm definitely not equipped, or wasn't. A seemingly ordinary early morning text from one of our daughters led to God quietly making all the many large and small details align for my granddaughter's visit in October so that she could attend the Faith and Practice Gala, Sterling's Market on Saturday here at St. Martin's, and help decorate for the joy of giving. God was in every logistic and every detail to make so many things happen that happened that weekend, and many, many memories. An unknown woman at a party briefly mentioned Proverbs 31 Ministries daily devotionals to me in January of 2019, and later that year, on May 8th, I remember the day, I read a devotional by Pam Tebow that led to a series of events that only God could orchestrate. After 2 reschedules and ultimately bringing Pam to St. Martin's 3 weeks ago, she richly blessed so many of us sharing her powerful testimony, and she now has a new Houston-based Christian family that is helping support her through cancer treatments at MD Anderson. And on the morning after I began writing this, a daily word devotional by Reverend Jane Ferguson entitled Listening for God's Voice appeared in my inbox. In this devotional, Jane wrote about God's communication with Ezekiel in a way that allowed me to hear God's whisper of affirmation for this testimony. Jane said, "I'm reminded that the voice of God can be still and small, an unexpected thought, a moment of revelation, or a simple, "I'd wear a sweater" comment. Or in my case, "You better put on flats, Sherrie." Wow. God's whispers have shown me how incredibly loving and interested He is in all the details of my life on a day-by-day basis. For a certified control enthusiast, this has been an important lesson for me and one that I need to be reminded of and grounded in every single day. Focus on Him. Give Him the wheel, the details, the big stuff, the small stuff, all the stuff. And He will plan, weave, and choreograph so much better than I. God moments are anything but small, anything but serendipitous, anything but inconsequential. Rather, they are never-ending, life-changing, and joyful when I do this faithfully. As Jesus tells us through the Gospel of Matthew 10:27, "What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs." Thank you for the opportunity this morning to do as Matthew urges, or Jesus urges through Matthew, to proclaim some of what God has been whispering in my ear. Thank you.